It was like double boom,
like an onion. The onion. My references are so layered, and they are bitter and horrible. Saxon Huxley talks about
God.
Finding God. Don't worry, my son, I forgive you.
Hello, and a very warm welcome back to the Gimme Wrestling Podcast. My name is Ant, and this right here is
Ollie. I thought I'd go with a contrast to my usual.
My Jerry Lawler to my Jim Ross, and today we're still in Birmingham on NXT episode 10. 10.
Double digits.
What happened to Ty Dillinger?
Oh, yeah, he's disappeared, hasn't he?
Oh, man.
I don't know
he
where
had
he's
a
gone.
real good storyline in it, so it was real good he left.
Yeah.
Great comment, guys, on episode 7 and 8. Really appreciate that. I'm going to read a couple out throughout the episode. We've got one for the start, Jamil Mendoza, who talked about the Coffee Brothers wearing NXT UK shirts, saying that he thinks it's because they don't have merchandise outside of Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
Actually, I had a look on the WWE Storm. There's a couple that do. I think Dakota Kai does. Tony Storm does. There are a couple that do have them.
Probably got theirs based on Mae Young and or regular NXT, though. I think would probably be the coffee. I mean, I like that they wear the NXT UK shirts. The only thing I'd say is that representing the brand feels like a facey kind of thing.
Yeah,
to do.
not a Healy thing. Yeah.
So I don't know whether, but I mean, it's good that they're showing off that they're NXT UK shirts. I guess it makes them look uniform, so look like a stable. Look like a group.
I mean, I like it, especially when Wolfgang's got that sort of lion and unicorn on his side of his chest. But he also says he thinks it's because they don't have a faction name yet. Which
That's
could
a good
be true.
point.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, really good point.
Did they get one though? I'm sure they got one on this episode, didn't they? I can't remember.
No, I don't think so, because they don't even feature in this episode, do they?
Sorry, last episode.
They had a little attack in the last episode, but I don't think they did, no. I think they need to, man. I mean, it feels like something that should have happened already.
Yeah, if commentary have given them a name, they certainly haven't made a big point of it, because I don't remember.
No. So we're into the semi-finals of the Women's Championship tournament, getting straight into it with 2 semi-final matches in this episode, and it's really good. Both of them are really good, so stick around with us. If you're enjoying the content, please hit that thumbs up button. It really helps the channel, or just continue to watch it. That'd be awesome. Find out what we think about the last match, which is pretty damn good. But there's some really good stuff in this episode, so we're going to talk about it. Also, if you like us on Facebook and Twitter, it really helps us out, and also we will let you know when the latest content is coming out. Also, if you really want to support us, go onto Redbubble, where you can buy yourself a t-shirt if you really want to support the brand, or a mug, or I think you can get like clock faces and stuff and pillowcases.
Can you?
Yeah, not with our face on.
I want a pillowcase with my face on.
You want a pillowcase?
I like the
with
idea
my
of people
face
just
on.
cuddling up to me.
Something you could buy your partner for Christmas.
A picture of my face.
Absolutely.
I don't think my face would be on it.
So we're going to the first match, which is semi-final of the Women's Championship tournament. They put the belt out on a flight case covered by black satin on the ramp. Cool. We have a lot of looks to it as the girls are going down, which is really good. And the first match is Dakota Kai versus Rhea Ripley. I've been excited for this match because Rhea Ripley didn't sell well enough for me in the first match, and she was good, but I couldn't wait to see her work with someone a little bit more established.
And aggressive.
And it was a good match. So Dakota Kai comes in, chants of DK. Let's not chant DK for Dakota Kai, because it reminds me way too much of Donkey Kong, which is completely different.
I quite like the Dakota Kai.
Dakota Kai.
Those chants are good.
Yeah, man.
And like you could see Rhea Ripley trying really hard not to laugh at those.
Oh yeah,
it was great. She was like trying not
great.
to corpse.
What a great chant.
It
starts off with a lockup, which Dakota Kai never should have got into.
No, not with Rhea Ripley.
Oh yeah,
rip your arms off.
Yeah. It's like turning around for Brock Lesnar to deliver.
You know what? It's funny you should say that, because I made a note. Like the closest thing I've got to a female Lesnar vibe from any roster, I think, is Rhea Ripley.
She's good.
She's got the closest thing to a Lesnar vibe. That kind of like she'll
Strong.
sell when she needs to, but she's booked strong. She takes hits and just staggers. She doesn't go down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but one of the nice things that she didn't do is she doesn't. She's not just a big powerhouse. She really takes it in a way that Brock doesn't.
You know, the other thing she doesn't do that's really annoying. She doesn't knock out Braun Strowman in 3 minutes.
She could do that probably. Ripley doesn't let go of her hands. This was a really nice segment at the start of the match. So they're both going to lock up with her hands, and Ripley doesn't let go of her hands, forcing her down for the pin. She raises one hand and then she pushes it back down, and again she raises the other hand and pushes it back down. To get out of the pin, she ends up doing a bridge. A really nice way of telling this little story of strength overcoming Dakota Kai, which sets up this whole sort of storyline of the match of Dakota Kai having to use her speed and wit as opposed to strength, which is really good setup for that. Absolutely. Really good.
And it's always, Rhea Ripley's been kind of constantly booked against smaller, more nimble, kind of faster people to really sell this idea of her as a big powerhouse. It's a good booking decision.
It's a good dynamic. Dakota Kai ends up on the turnbuckle with Rhea Ripley patting her on the head, saying "little girl" or something like that, and she ends up receiving a kick off the top rope.
She works the match so well, doesn't she? Like
Ripley, she's constantly digging.
Yeah, she's always she's always building on that character, and that's what I like to see, because I can really invest in someone who I can see working that throughout the match. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think sometimes it's at the beginning and at the end, whereas if it's all the way through, I really engage with that more.
Yeah. Can I just say the women's division in the NXT UK is really strong.
Yeah, it's
probably stronger than Raw and SmackDown at the minute. Maybe Becky Lynch. No, maybe
Becky Lynch is a standout. Charlotte's doing very well. I think they're certainly on par. But, in terms of in-ring,
they're really, really good. I think there's been some really good matches, and it is exciting me, the women's division, which is great. Yes. I mean, how wrestling has changed. We're also doing another podcast called Wrestling Rewind, where we look at the history of wrestling. I think we've got SummerSlam 95 coming out tomorrow. So if you're interested in old wrestling and sort of that evolution of women's the wrestling. Attitude Era, which is really bad for women.
Well, do you know, it's
Sonny's
telling.
Just come in and stuff. So
I used to live in a wrestling house. So I used to live with housemates. We'd all watch the wrestling together. And the number of people in that house who would go like, it's the women's match. I'm going to go make. Well, it's Divas at the time. I'm going to go make a tea. Or I'm going to make a coffee. Or I'm going to go stretch my legs.
You don't do that anymore.
Becky Lynch is the best thing on WWE TV right now.
Yeah.
It's a shame she's been needlessly punched in the face.
Becky Lynch versus Toni Storm.
Good match.
Yeah.
Becky Lynch versus basically anyone on the NXT UK roster I'd want to see. Toni Storm certainly more than others. Yeah.
No.
Hard hit. You just don't like Dakota Kai. I'd want to see that.
Yeah, Dakota Kai delivers the kick to set up Ripley, followed by a double foot stomp, which ends in a pin attempt. Well, she falls forward. I prefer that. If she's going to fall.
Did you like it?
If she's going to fall
into a pin.
Fall into a pin, yeah. Okay. Well, it's okay. It's okay. I reserve judgment. Dakota Kai can't match Ripley's power at all. Nope. Anytime Kai gets the lead, Ripley bashes her back with a brawling attitude while standing tall in the ring. She certainly feels like the powerhouse. It's great. Yeah. Ripley gets her into the standing cloverlight leave.
Yeah, we talked about this.
You wanted to talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, so I think it's a really good move. I like that they talked a lot about it on commentary at the time, and they were saying how it's like a modified cloverleaf, but they kept saying like she needs to sit deeper into it. I don't think that's the case. I think she's going with it being this lifting one to take the power advantage. If they're not grounded,
using the strength,
you put all of the pressure on their legs. They're dangling. It might actually not be as effective in reality, but it looks very effective. Yeah, which is important.
That's all that's important.
I think
wrestling.
Yeah. I think though that there's something missing from it.
I agree.
It could be her. It could be a finish. It could be. It could be something she uses. Can you imagine like people like desperately like clawing? I think she needs to get them higher if she can.
Yeah.
Can you imagine them tapping above, you know what I mean? Like reaching for the canvas to try and tap out, or having to tap, from that move. It would look amazing. I think she needs to start kicking them while she does it as well.
Yes.
They're in the perfect position for her to give him a good, just a couple of little kicks to the head or something. There's something not quite there with it, but it's really cool. And
it's potentially getting there, and it's slightly different as well, which is it's something that we don't see all the time, which is and certainly better than a sleeper hold, you know.
And it looks amazing when, you know, from her perspective as a character as well, because she's, you know, all about hurting people and being dominant, and it looks like a dominant move.
Ripley goes for a powerbomb, but gets kicked by Dakota Kai with a backwards kick. Kai gets the face wash signature move, the double kicks in the corner, but Ripley kicks out. The Dakota Kai they mentioned had beat Rhea Ripley in the first Mae Young Classic. Ripley's saying in the ring, "You really think you can beat me again?" Which is great. It shows how far she's sort of come from that sort of 2 years, you know.
Yeah. And it's nice. It's always nice to see history kind of maintained. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
I hate it when you know history gets ignored, because it takes you out of it, doesn't it? You know, it makes
some history should always be ignored.
Well, okay, Katie Vick. We'll ignore that.
Yeah. Eventually, Ripley gets a riptide for the win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I much preferred this match for Ripley than the quarterfinals match. I think Kai got a little too much offense. Actually, I think if I was rebooking a match, I would have had Ripley go over a little stronger.
Okay,
is the only thing. Yeah, I think because it's our second match to Ripley, and she's going into the final against who will reveal later on. Woo!
Yeah.
But I think she could have done with going into that final a little bit stronger.
Okay, fair enough. I did like the face buster onto the apron though.
Yes.
From the shoulders. That was a really nice, inventive bit of ring work that I don't think I've ever seen before. So it's cool.
Maybe not. Cool. Awesome.
Just nice to see something inventive and new in a match. It's always nice.
Always is, and that's what we're seeing a lot of in NXT UK. To be honest with you, even though we're seeing new and inventive with the same move over and over again. Sid Scala, my man. Lego himself has been waiting outside the headmaster's office
for 2 weeks.
And he comes out of the office. We hear the end of the conversation with Johnny saying, "Good luck, Sid." Yeah, good luck. Good luck.
It's a very long meeting, wasn't it?
Yeah, very long meeting. Very long meeting. Ratsiki comes over. Razzie comes over to find out what's happened. These two, man, stood outside the headmaster's office.
Yeah, the fact that Sid Scala was dressed like a public schoolboy as well, with his like red blazer. And like Johnny saying, come on, go back to class. Can't spend all break time in here.
And in comes Razzie, who also looks like a young student. These two kids are prefects at the school. And
did the meeting go well?
Sid Scala has got a one-on-one match with Joe Coffey.
Good to see that Johnny Saint dislikes Sid Scala as much as I do. That's the only reason he would put him in a match with Joe Coffey.
Yeah, I quite like the story building up to it though. I love
but the thing is, we know what's going to happen. He's going to go and he's going to get demolished.
Well, he might as well have just asked for a match with Braun Strowman.
Do you know, it's like, I don't like the way things are going. I keep getting squashed by these big guys. What's a good idea? I know. I'll go fight one of the biggest guys who's also got two massive mates with him. Yeah, I know. That's a good idea, isn't it? Come on, Sid.
Sid, you're a legend.
He was good on the mic, though. I'll give him that.
Yeah,
he was alright on the mic. He felt natural. It didn't feel really awkward.
But it feels like a good story, right? I'm not just liking him because
I'm slightly more invested in Sid Scala now. But I tell you what, if he comes down to the ring and does that thing again, I'll hate him straight away.
He is going to, with his arm behind his back.
Of course he will.
Yes, of course he will. Razzie again. Next, Razzie.
Oh, quick point. Between these two segments, there was an advert for TLC. It's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah,
it was awful. They made up a rap song for it. The editing felt like something from the 90s. It felt like they were really trying to cash in on Jeff Hardy's gimmick 10 years late. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just it was the worst thing I've ever seen. No word of a joke. And I've seen
a lot.
I've seen Avatar. That's a terrible movie.
I hope James Cameron is going to be writing in the comment section, having a go at you now.
No, because I've called him out on the Smurf thing, and he'll keep his mouth shut. It's just the Smurfs.
Razzie, whatever, is talking to Jordan Devlin to find out what he meant by calling out Pete Dunne.
Not the most boring question in the world.
Really?
Yeah, like
what? But
it furthered the storyline. It didn't. It wasn't super generic. The answer was better than the question, but the question wasn't the worst question ever.
Okay,
which is what we've been getting previously. It was a slight step in the right direction. It wasn't like, Devlin, you've won a match. How do you feel now that you've won a match? Okay.
You've won every match you've been in.
You're undefeated. Although I think he did say he's undefeated, which
probably
is again a reuse from the Eddie Dennis promo. Also in exactly the same location as the Eddie Dennis promo. Also, this and the Eddie Dennis promo from last episode, both the camera was out of focus. Do you notice?
Annoying.
It was out of focus.
Annoying. Please don't watch our podcast too hard because we do that out of focus.
Yeah, but we don't. We're not a multi-million-dollar company with access to unlimited resources.
What do you mean? We're on YouTube. Everyone's a millionaire on YouTube.
Seriously, there on there is no excuse for having the camera out of focus. There's no excuse. No. And I'm getting legitimately mad about this.
I can tell, dude. I can tell.
In general, NXT UK, there's been some really top quality moments in terms of with the shake of the shake of the camera with Mastiff. There's been some really nice camera work. There's been some really good sound, but for the most part, production values on this show are not up to scratch.
Very good.
They are not up to scratch. And when you have a company that is making that much money and they want to invest in a new product, invest in it properly. The fact that different the audio quality between camera cuts in an interview is different, and you can hear a buzzing in one of them and you can't in the other. Terrible. The fact that some of the video is out of focus. Terrible. Yeah. The fact that the crowd is muted in one show and not in another. Terrible. Sort it out.
Are you done?
Yeah, sorry.
No, I like it. You're angry.
I got mad about it. There's no excuse. There's no excuse.
Yeah,
no excuse whatsoever.
But in the promo, Devlin's talking about when he beats Pete Dunne, he's going to rename NXT UK to NXT Ireland with UK.
Guarantees he's going to lose?
Yeah, absolutely. But I quite like the storyline.
Yeah.
I quite like his motive for that, and I quite like his trying to turn it into something new already.
He was good on the mic, and he actually kind of left with a sort of funny kind of little moment. It's such a contrast to the Eddie Dennis promo from the last episode. Yeah. That whole thing felt awkward. It felt disjointed. Right at the end, he did a weird huff and then walked off with with his
bottom lip out.
And his jazz hands and gangly limbs. But Devlin kind of left with it'll be NXT Ireland featuring UK, and then kind of went, and it was a nice pithy little sort of thing, and he was out, and he was convincing.
It was good. I like it. I like the build up to it. Yeah. Flash Morgan Webster and Mark Andrews is next versus Joseph Connors and Saxon Huxley, also known as
Suntan Jesus. Suntan Jesus.
The Resurrection. That should be the tag team name. The Tower of Webster and Andrews, which is really great. Yeah. Webster really uses his speed to keep on top of Huxley and Connors. Both Andrews and Webster's show their agility on a tag, delivering, was it a double standing backflip?
Yeah, one of them did a backflip, the other one did a front flip.
Yeah, it shows how similar the two are and how the tag team dynamic can work. Enjoyed that, more of that. Huxley squares Andrews with an outstretched... Oh no, he squashes. Thank you, autocorrect.
Squares him off.
He squares him off first. No, that's Sid Scala. He squashes Andrews with an outstretched Luthez press. It's what I talked about last year. He just goes into a big star and just falls on him.
And also, I mean, he kind of got a splat. He got a face full of Donny's Thornberrys there, didn't he?
He got a face full of what?
Donny's Thornberrys. I think that he looks like Donny Thornberry all grown up with those pants on.
I don't know what Donny Thornberry is.
You know the Wild Thornberries?
No.
You never watched the Wild Thornberries?
No, I'm slightly older than you.
Anyone who knows what the Wild Thornberries...
Rugrats, I might have
it's the same kind of generation, I'm sure. No. So Wild Thornberries, right, there's a character called Donny Thornberry who always wore leopard, not leopard print, but it was tiger print.
Oh right,
kind of like a little loincloth. And that's what Saxon Huxley looks like, but all grown up.
Yeah.
So Andrew's got a big face full of Donny's Thornberrys.
Very
because
good.
He hit him at quite an angle.
So he was using Thornberrys as an innuendo, but also making a reference.
But also making a reference.
This is why you are on the podcast, because you're like double boom,
like an onion. Onion. My references are so layered. And they are bitter and horrible.
I like them. Connors feels aggressive in his move. A standing lariat really felt rough. Webster gets a hot tag, and the rude boy block from the top rope looked great from Webster. He was on fire, and it was clever using Andrews as the one to get the hot tag, because Andrews is way more established than Webster within this universe so far. But to get Webster in and to use him as the guy to do the work that ends up eventually getting him the win was great. It was really giving a good rub to Webster. Webster ends up getting caught by Huxley and slammed afterwards. He chooses not to tag in Connors. Connors looks upset on ringside. We'll get into that at the end of the match. Andrews ends up beating with Huxley with a shooting star press. The two leave the ring.
Which he lands really well this time.
Yes, he did,
proper made contact.
Yeah, as opposed to him.
What the slaps we've been getting a couple of times. I think it always looks amazing, but
because of the height he gets. Yeah,
he really hit him with it.
The two leave the ring. I thought Webster and Andrews did a really great job leaving the ring, laughing at Saxon Huxley and Connors, building up that sort of tension, because you can tell what's happening, what's coming. Connors is angry with Huxley for not tagging him in.
Yeah.
Connors attacks Huxley for not tagging him in. Chance of Judas. Great, man.
Yeah,
perfect.
Which when you're working with Santan Jesus,
makes sense, man.
Makes sense. If WWE don't run with this,
are they going to go Huxley face?
Yeah, I think he is now.
Is he?
Must be, yeah.
Yeah,
I think so. I think he didn't... I saw it... I didn't actually watch it, but I saw the thumbnail for a clip on YouTube that was Saxon Huxley talks about...
God.
Finding God.
Finding God.
Don't worry, my son, I forgive you. He said it was something about him finding a new him, or finding a new... It was something about him changing in some way, so I'm guessing he's going face.
Okay, cool, fine, whatever.
I'll watch the clip and we'll find out.
Yeah, I don't know. I quite like him as a heel, but
I think he could work either way. I want to kind of cheer him though, because he's Suntan Jesus. I'm really behind that as a thing, but I want him to take that gimmick and run with it. I want the crucifix bomb to be his finisher. I want him to come down to the ring wearing robes,
carrying a cross.
On his back.
Religious symbology.
That would be really good.
Crossface as another finisher. But Connors then DDTs Huxley before closing his eyes on the ring, pointing at the roof, and then closing his eyes. Connors is great, man. His character work is so impressive, and I can't wait to see, because we haven't seen enough of him at all.
I see what you mean now, though, about his Discount Jericho jacket.
It was awful, isn't it? It's weird.
It's like weird, fake rhinestone. How do you fake rhinestone?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It looks awful.
But I'm glad they're not running with those two as a tag team, because individually I feel like they could do so much more.
Yeah, and this story that Connors will tell, he'll weave an intricate story, and like even that little segment on the rope where he sort of closes his eyes, he's taking a moment and turning it into something that you could put on a highlight package. Really
I'll tell you what, we talked last week about who we could potentially see in main event status. Connors, man. Connors could be the one to cheap it away from Dunn.
You know what? Yes, I agree, actually. He's
a good heel champion. We've seen it already.
I don't think that people who haven't seen Connors' other work could probably agree with us at this point.
Yeah.
But if knowing what Connors can do, especially character work, he's a very clever, snide heel. He's really good.
Great. And he's got that he's just got that face that makes you want to throttle him, don't you? Yeah. But in when he wants it to be, he's good at. And I always remember, I think it was when he won the WCPW title, and he was clutching it like it was his last ring, you know. And every match he'd come down it was like Gollum with the ring. Do you know what I mean? And that is really fascinating to watch.
Yeah, he's going to be great, and I can't wait to see what he's going to do. I don't think it'll be anything that we've seen from him before either. I think it'll go a new direction with it, and I think that's great. More time for Connors, please.
Yeah.
Marine 6 advert.
A couple. Sorry, I want to mention a couple of things about this match. So tag team wrestling, the hot tag as a thing. We talked briefly about that kind of I thought he lured a few episodes ago. I think it was the same. It was Webster and Andrews, where he lured him in, sent him over, lured the second one in, sent him over, then made the tag to Andrews. That felt like smart hot tagging.
Tag,
What I cannot stand.
I didn't like that one.
What I cannot stand, and I've seen it work before, but it just doesn't work here. Is this I'm lying on the floor reaching for a tag thing, and it's
it goes on a bit too long, and if the other guy hasn't got the pull back quickly, it just needs to be
enough. It feels weird and unnatural. And there are some, you look at someone when the Revival work a tag match, they've always got them in a position where it makes sense that they can't quite make the tag.
Revival
if you're just lying on the floor, it doesn't work.
No, I agree.
And the hot tag as a thing has become so prevalent in today's wrestling, and I just don't like it.
Fair enough.
For most of the time.
Fair enough.
Also, just side note, really interesting, camera focused in, and bear in mind this was filmed ages and ages ago, they've had loads of time to edit it. One of the shots of the crowd was a really close-up guy of a guy wearing a Bullet Club t-shirt. I just thought that was interesting, that they would just put it on a dude wearing a Bullet Club t-shirt.
Yeah, especially when it's all pre-taped and not live.
Yeah.
Next up we have a Marine 6 advert. Why am I interested in that film, Ollie?
Because it's got Becky Lynch in it.
It's got Becky Lynch, Shawn Michaels and The Miz. I'm not a great fan of the Marine films. I've seen a few of them.
I've not seen any of them. But interestingly, I don't know the dynamic of the films because I've never seen them. But there was a line in the trailer where he says, "I hope it doesn't turn into The Miz," and I think he kind of turns and goes, "I hope it doesn't turn into warfare or a war zone." And I go, "But you're Marine. That's surely your area, isn't it? That's where you thrive, surely." And also, we inevitably know that it will. So I don't know. It felt like
I don't know why.
Now we're doing
I think it's just because of the people that are in
reviews.
it. I think it's just because of the people in it. I'm really
I want to see Becky Lynch act and just be Irish.
Yeah. And she's the bad guy as well.
Yeah, it seems that way based on the trailer. Yeah, which is cool. I'm up for her being a bad guy.
She's not the love interest of The Miz. Mastiff versus Tyson T-Bone next. Man. I mean, why are we putting these in the ring so soon? This segment, I think, is one of the worst segments NXT UK has done so far.
Yeah, this was a drag.
What we talked about before, and we're probably going to drop it after this because it seems to be over already. Yeah. With them two sort of showing off in squash matches, having each other interrupt the squash matches.
Because that was an amazing dynamic a couple of episodes ago.
It was great. Wonderful squash matches. Best squash matches I've seen in such a long time. Yeah. WWE had a great squash match on SmackDown this week with Shane O'Mac and The Miz to two jobbers. and The Miz get pissed. Great, but you don't often see really great squash matches which tell a good story. There's no reaction by the audience for Tyson T-Bone during his entrance, and this is a problem. They've sort of built up Tyson T-Bone, and they've just destroyed him completely. Yeah. T-Bone tries to dance around Mastiff, but ends up going down to his shoulder. T-Bone gets Mastiff down with a series of brawling punches and kicks.
And there was a 10-minute headlock.
T-Bone has a lot of advantage, holding Mastiff in a confident headlock for some time. A long time. Mastiff gets a bear hug. Eventually, Mastiff keeps him down when he teabags T-Bone's chest. He does. He just teabags his chest.
Teabag to T-Bone.
Yeah. There's certain moves.
A Tyson teabag T-Bone. He said it with the TTT. The Tyson T-Bone teabag.
I really just want the commentator at some point. Oh my God, he's just teabagged him. Mastiff's offense at least delivers something slightly different to T-Bone's offense, which feels really boring. He does a headbutt and some back elbows or something, which is slightly different. Eventually going into a German and that corner buckle senton. But why? I mean, we've completely just wasted this storyline. It was a boring match.
Yeah.
I think I don't think it's necessarily the worst match, but I think it may well be. It's the worst handled segment. It's killed a lot of Mastiff as well for me.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
Like if you I get that they want to make Mastiff look like a beast, right? Yeah. But the thing is, if you want to make Mastiff look like a beast by swallowing a guy that is apparently really really tough or whatever, then you've got to build the tough guy up. Yeah, build the tough guy up. But then the thing that you don't do is give him one match against a jobber that doesn't make him look particularly impressive. Then put him against Mastiff where he manages to ground Mastiff and knock him down, and actually be the first person to have him laid out on the mat for most of the match. Have Mastiff do a very brief comeback and then finish it there. It doesn't build anyone. It doesn't achieve anything. No. I'm not now more interested in Mastiff. I just kind of thought, well, that's 2 fun squashes and a boring squash from him, and that doesn't do anything for me.
No.
And T-Bone, how does he come back from that?
Can't. You can't.
Do you know what I mean?
Is he not in it anymore?
Do you put him back to squashing people again, or do you put him into a feud with somebody else?
Sid Scala?
Well, yeah.
But at
this point, I feel like Sid Scala
should win.
Yeah. I don't know. Didn't work for me. Nothing about that worked.
So we got a comment on one of our last videos from Manfred Bazarov. I've said your name twice now and probably murdered it each time, but Manfred, thank you so much for commenting. You are a legend. Who said that Ginny and Millie were amazing.
Yeah, great match.
Speaking of Ginny and Millie, who were amazing, we're now getting Ginny and Toni Storm, and I hear that Toni Storm's quite good as well.
She's alright.
She's alright. But we really do appreciate the comments. So please let us know what you think. Let us know if you think Mastiff has just been buried. T-Bone. Let us know what you think of this last match. Let us know what you thought was the favourite match. It'd be great to hear anything, and we're quite happy to read some of our favourite comments out on the show. Next match then, we have Toni Storm, versus Ginny. I was excited for this match after seeing Ginny and Millie have that awesome match where Ginny just took the best German suplexes. She's going against the German suplex machine, one of the best Germans in the WWE at the minute.
Yeah.
I was excited. I wasn't disappointed.
You know what? I wasn't disappointed by the match. I was very slightly disappointed by the Germans.
They were quite snappy. I like the first one.
Well, they are snappy. But I think because we'd seen Millie do those huge arcing Germans.
And giving Ginny the time to flail about.
Yeah, I wanted to see Ginny flail about a bit. But Toni Storms are so snappy, and they're great.
And I like
a snappy, but I like seeing Ginny flail around, and I didn't get to see that because she was just on the canvas so quickly.
But she sold it so well anyway, and it was just. I know what you're saying.
The second one was
just
better.
Amazing. I preferred the first one.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
She kind of came out of the first one sideways, though, I thought.
Yeah. I don't know, she just landed a bit awkward.
The fisherman suplex was awesome.
It was awesome, actually.
It was great.
I noticed
that. I love fisherman suplexes. I think they look amazing. And they make more sense to me, I think, in my head as a suplex as well. If you've got one leg hooked, it feels like you've got more control over the person that you're doing the move to. So, it feels more like a more damaging kind of final thing. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah.
What do you think of Ginny's entrance?
I don't remember thinking anything about it.
It's great. So she just, I think it's like her outfit and that Ginny sign, and it really works. The gimmick really works. It's interesting because...
Yeah, I think it must... I didn't notice that it was annoying or bad in any way. So
but in terms of like ring gear, she looks like a fashion. She looks like she cares. It doesn't look cheap. We talked about that last time.
Yeah, it's like the play suit thing, isn't it? But it's like modified to make it look wrestly, which I like.
But at the same time, it doesn't look cheap. Like Connor's jacket.
I'm sold on her as a great, because I remember over quite a few episodes I was a bit dubious about her whole gimmick, but I'm sold on it now.
I think I'm going to go back and watch a bit of Toni Storm and Ginny in progress. I think that'd be really interesting to see, man.
Yeah.
Ginny's face as Storm enters the ring is great, almost in disbelief at what she's looking at. It seems like there's a fashion thing there because Toni comes out. She put a cap on backwards as well, which she doesn't always do, does she? Does she?
Yeah, I think Tony's generally got a cap on backwards.
But you can tell that Ginny's like looking at her with distaste of herself, which is great. Great ring work, great character work.
Tony's shorts really confuse me because they're like black. They look like they're like black lycra or some come kind of wrestling, but then they've got like denim patches sewn onto them, which has always confused me. I've always thought like, are they like denim shorts that have like shrunk and split and they've got black stuff underneath? You know what I mean? I've never understood it. I actually downloaded a Creator Wrestler on 2K19 of Toni Storm, and it had those like denim patches on it, and I thought that the textures were messed up. I thought that they'd like put on full size short textures and they'd like somehow shrunk into the middle of like a generic Creator Wrestler short, but no, that's actually what she did. I don't know, I just hadn't
Even the first lockup, from the moment they go into it, felt like a brawl, man, where they're swinging each other around the ring, and it was a dance. It was beautiful.
Dance went through my head as well.
It was beautiful.
It was dance straight into brawl, and that was fun. Yeah. That was really fun.
The two move so quickly as well, similar to Devlin and Ligera, where an arm wrench feels like a strong move, because it's done with so fast. And also, these two, the transitions between the moves are beautiful. They're great. Toni Storm locks in the SDF, or slightly modified.
Like a modified SDF. She kind of hooks the legs in almost like a surfboard and shit. Yeah. And then,
but there was showboating before she jumped into it,
where she was trying to decide which way round to go. And
great. Nice. $1 million, man. $1 million. Ginny throws her entire body into every move she makes. That's what sells Ginny. Because Ginny's so thin, the fact that she uses her entire... She, flails around and every single thing that she does. Even when she's trying to make Toni Storm tap out to a submission, she's working an arm with one arm, she's working her face with the other, and then she's got a knee in the back. Yeah. And it really feels like she gets into these positions... Because... If she was to just deliver in a similar, like Rhea Ripley, if she was to deliver moves in a way of Rhea Ripley, we wouldn't believe it because she's too small. Yeah. But the way that she does is great. It feels crazy.
Probably most likely got very pointy knees. So
yeah, probably.
Digging those into the back's not going to be nice.
Ouch! But well, I don't know. It might be quite nice if you've got a bad back.
Yeah.
A double headbutt leaves both women down, and then
that was a really nice
German foot. It was nice. Yeah, it was really nice.
I like that headbutt. It's good because it feels like I'm getting a lot of offense against me. I need to just create some separation. And although it is a kind of slightly self-destructive move, it's nice to see them split apart. And
Ginny fell back dead fall back.
Oh yeah, she just hit the deck. It was cool.
Great, brilliant. Snap German suplex, beautiful. I loved it.
Yeah.
Toni sits up. Why on my notes does it say Toni sits up, thongs out? I think it's Toni sits up with a tongue out.
Okay.
Auto-correct, man.
Thongs out.
This could have really got me into a confusing spot talking about Toni Storm. Anyway.
I don't think she had a thong out.
No, I wish. Toni sits up. She's got a tongue out. Sorry. She sits with her tongue out, happy with how it went. Even the fisherman suplex, which follows this, looked amazing. You talked about it earlier. Ginny delivers a facebuster from the second rope.
It looked like it spiked her on the head.
Yeah.
And then the replay as well, it didn't look any better. I thought maybe they had a camera cut. And then I watched it again and I went, oh, that looked really nasty.
It's great.
It looked great, but I was really worried about Toni in that moment.
Yeah.
It just looked like she landed right on the top of her head, which just isn't fun.
No, you don't want to see concussions, especially not with Toni. No. Toni goes for Storm Zero, but Ginny counters with the axe kick, but Toni's foot ends up on the second rope. Toni gets another German into Storm Zero for the win.
Yeah.
Toni Storm is greeted at the top of the ramp by the headmaster, Toni Saint. Rhea didn't get that treatment, by the way.
No, she didn't. But then I guess she came out. I guess the segment was these two at the end. Yeah. But it did feel a bit like favoritism. But if you put in Johnny Saint there, so do it, but without Johnny Saint there, have her go to the belt, and then have Rhea Ripley come in the confrontation, and then Johnny comes out and says, "Go to my office." Yeah. You know. But rather than "I'm here for you," it did feel like favoritism, didn't it?
It did, didn't it?
She came up to the belt, and he was there oh, hey, Toni, hey, star pupil.
They said the match was in 2 weeks for the final. This is the first time I really hope that we get 2 episodes next Wednesday to make sure we get this final. That Rhea Ripley, Toni Storm, I'm sure it'll be great.
Has the Storm Zero changed?
I didn't notice.
I thought the Storm Zero was the drop onto the shoulder breaker and then onto the floor.
Well,
now it looks like a Tyler driver.
Don't forget that this was filmed before Evolution, so she did the Storm Zero with the 2-point in the Evolution, didn't she?
But she also did it in earlier episodes of NXT UK. It was a different move, I'm sure.
Yeah, okay.
I think it's changed.
Okay.
I'm sure it was, because we were talking about the 2 points of contact. This looked like a Tyler driver, but they still called it a Storm Zero. I could be getting two moves confused.
I'm still reeling from the German.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think that she's changed that move, and I don't know why, but I don't like the Tyler driver. No. It's too low.
Okay.
it doesn't get enough height for it to look impactful. But her original Storm Zero looks really good with the shoulder breaker onto the floor.
So hopefully we're getting that final in 2 weeks. Let's pray to my man Saxon Huxley that we get that match. Give me your... I don't know that reference because
look him up. You'll know what I mean.
Right, okay,
you'll see what I mean. It's grown up Donny Thornbury. Like I can't unsee it now either.
No, cool. So let's give our ratings for the show. So best match.
Come back to me. Do you want to do yours first?
Yeah, I'm going to say Storm and Ginny. I loved it. It was everything I wanted it to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I think so. We didn't get a lot of matches actually on this one, did we?
No, we didn't. No, it certainly wasn't Mastiff and T-Bar.
No, definitely wasn't. Yeah, I think Ginny versus Toni Storm. That's my match.
Rock and roll. And best performer?
Ooh, difficult one. I think
I'm going to give it to Storm.
Yeah, like Storm. Ginny's really good though.
Really good.
Rhea Ripley
Connors
was really
had
good.
some great character work. I just
Connors
don't think there was as much in the match.
Yeah, it didn't go
long
enough, really, I suppose.
No. And the gay star rating?
2.5.
2.5?
Yeah, it wasn't as good as last episode, I don't think, just because of the Mastiff thing. There was a bit of slow, boring stuff in the middle, I thought.
Yeah, I agree.
The last episode
I agree,
felt better.
Yeah, but then I prefer the Storm and Ginny match to anything that happened in the last episode, so it's difficult.
I don't know, I prefer Devlin.
Did you prefer Devlin and Ligero?
Fair
enough, let us know what you think.
Not by much, but...
Yeah. Let us know what you think down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching and sticking with us. You guys rock.
Yeah.
If you want to hear blah, 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 like Rhea Ripley versus Toni Storm.
It's that versus that.
I love your little Toni Storm impression there. That was really funny.
It's the head.
That's really good. So, cool. Like us on Facebook, like us on Twitter, hit us up in the comments below, let us know what you think, subscribe, hit that ring bell.
Ding, ding, ding.
Join us on our next episode, which is going to be awesome because it's going to be the women's final. Thank you so much for joining us. You guys rock, we rock, which makes us the Rock and Rock connection. Keep it gay.